So we're reviewing Artrage for our iPad. Here we go, version 3. Um, so this is a natural media editor along the lines of Corel Draw, of Alias Sketchbook, and Painter that you might be used to. So some of this should look familiar if you know those programs. Here's your palette chooser. You have your layer options here, your options, and then your natural media editor. So nice thing about this is for the limited screen space that you have, everything kind of compartmentalized and comes and goes as you need it. So we have our normal paint bucket all the way down to roller brushes, palette knife, and then a brush. So you can choose any one of these options here and go into the brush or the settings for each individual media. And you can change the size, the pressure, and other options. So here we have a wide brush, and we're going to try this here. Oops, a little too light for the camera. And you can see that it works pretty well. It does some nice blending options, so it's actually quite good on that respects. The biggest issues I have with the natural media here is specifically with the tube area, so we'll go to a deep red here, and oops, sorry about that, we'll increase the size, and that's, as we can see here, it doesn't have any variation in the way it's drawn out of the tube, so to speak. It's more of a convention of the way that you drag your finger on the screen and how it actually moves and gets caught on the previous touch points or dirt that might be on the screen. But I found that a little annoying. But for the most part, the natural media is very good, and you can do a lot of options with this and as you can see, even drawing straight lines, which is normally very hard in certain programs, is quite easy and quite responsive. So I'm just going to step back a couple to a blank page. One of the best options I saw here was this ability to actually pin reference photos up. So we can actually go into saved photo settings, and we have this little reference photo that you can drag around and scale and move around. And then if I like where it is, I can now use it as a reference in order to draw my own little Firefox friend here. And it's quite nice. The fact that it will go away and you can change the options really makes it great. So after you pin the photo, you can actually reset size, hide it, remove it, and make it a tracing image, which will actually show next after I clean the screen. So we're going to hide this and just clean this away. So that tracing image is actually probably the best feature of this program. So when we go to the options, this is already on the screen. We can make this a tracing image. And when we go to our layers and change the opacity, we'll now see that image is set as kind of an underlayer. Even though it says opacity 100%, it's really about 50% opacity. And what this allows us to do is we can take any one of our brushes here, or objects, and size and pressure, and wherever we touch on the picture, it will automatically use the eyedropper tool and pull up that color. And what this allows us to do is actually drag color out of the point of of origin of your fingers. So it allows you to do very impressionistic work. So I'm just going to do this very quickly here, and you'll get an idea of just what you can do with short strokes and your finger here to see some of the nice features of this. So once you're done drawing, we can actually change the opacity of this or remove it. And you can actually see now how I pulled out some of these features of the main picture. We'll switch to an earlier artwork that I did to show you how this can really be done to full effect. So here we have a large photo reference of a bird picking up a salmon from a river, and here is my rendition of it. And what we can see as we zoom in and go back to the palette knife I was using, you can actually pull just parts of it and you get this nice brush stroke that you can layer on top of each other just by doing lots of small strokes, and that gives you a very impressionistic view and sense of motion in this photo. So you can actually see side by side here how it affects the wings and even the salmon is drawn. So I actually like this feature a lot. I wish a lot of programs were more responsive in this respect. Um, that being said, for the good things, here's some of the bad things about this program. The biggest problems I had weren't necessarily because of the Artrage for the iPad, but the limitations of the iPad itself. So if we were to start a new painting, we can see that it's 1024 by 768, which is the default screen size. However, the maximum size you can do in this is 1440 by 1440, which is understandably so because of the nature of the iPad and your screen retail space. You probably can't do much larger than that. However, that's probably not a very good option for people who are looking to do this for matte painting or any type of really high performance work. You have quite a bit of option when creating your canvas, so you can change the background color. You can even change the grain either through the grain option here, which you can go through canvases and coarse papers and whatnot, or through the presets here, in which you can see how the art would come out on that type of paper. What I did notice using this at length is that when you're using it for too long of time, RAM really becomes an issue. I'm not sure if, again, that's because of the limited size of RAM on iPad, but the more you draw it, we can even see this here, that we're going to get some slowdown and spottiness. I'm not sure if that can be optimized in the next update for this program, or if really truly is a limitation of the iPad and the available space for it. But on the whole, this is a great little program, certainly justified for the cost in being a natural media editor, and a welcome addition for any artist on the go. And that's the end.
There's something about the name, Hershey's Nuggets, that doesn't sound right.